late 90s. I forget how old, 97,
Let's
something
make
like
sure
that.
we're going here.
I never met her. She had passed before she married, but she was this teeny little, like under, like 4'10",
Okay.
little Irish.
Yeah.
Came over, immigrant from Ireland. Was a domestic up in Newport.
Okay.
For this
For the
big,
Ritchie
for the
families.
Ritchie families, up there for many years. Then came to New York, married a guy, the Ritchie families, up there.
How's Dan, okay?
Doing great, doing great. Okay,
Homework.
all right, so let's call to order the REAC meeting. Big roll call. Irene Coughlin.
Here.
Peg Zugaby.
Here.
Tim Riley.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have no action items. New business. There is a REAC planning and scope letter.
This is just for our yearly independent audit. So this is initiating that we're again going to go ahead with the firm that we used last year, and Shannon, who will do our audit in January.
Right. We are supposed to notify you, so consider yourselves
Yes.
duly notified. There's no action necessary.
Yep.
Just- okay. There's no old business. The treasurer's report, October, November financial reports, because we didn't have a November meeting, as everyone recalls. It's the usual, couple bills, and that's that, So we can answer any questions or whatever, but it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Okay,
Morning.
the treasurer's report, okay. Raj, you are now part of this meeting.
Hey, Russ.
That was quick, actually. Got here quickly when you called me.
I left my jacket in the other call, so it doesn't.
Okay. All right, we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report from Tim Riley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'll read the minutes call to order at 10:05, no action items, new business. The board was notified of the REAC planning and scope letter for our upcoming audit. There's no old business. The board reviewed the treasurer's report. Motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Irene Coughlin to accept the financial report for October, November. And that's it. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Okay. Okay, that's that. All right, everyone ready to go right into the IDA? All right, so on call to order and do roll call. All right, same thing, Irene Coughlin.
Here.
Peg Zugaby.
Here.
Raj Amar.
Here.
Tim Riley. Okay, four present. Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda is a partnership resolution for Bridges. It's actually, their legal name is Connections, Employment and Marketing Services. As everyone recalls, I'll give it a break. Am I doing it?
Okay.
Go ahead. I just realized we scripted who was gonna do what, and I realized I already went off script. So,
Okay, I kick them up. That's why I sit here so I can kick them.
when I go, ow, you'll know that I went off script.
So this is a continuation of our conversation that we had in October about a possible partnership with Bridges. And so since that conversation, Steve and I have had the opportunity to sit down with Carlos Martinez, who is the CEO of Bridges, and sort of hone in on where that partnership would be the most impactful in regards to workforce development. And we identified an opportunity that they have to open an Independence Cafe, which is a model that is a support services employment for individuals who have gone through the Bridges support services, so veterans, people with disabilities, and are ready to move into the workforce. This gives them a supported 6-month workforce experience where they learn point of sale and customer service and inventory. And at the end of that 6 months, they move into a employment in the community, which is also supported by Bridges. This model is not new. This is something that Bridges has actually run successfully pre-COVID. They had 2 independent cafes, one in the courthouse and one up at the Yeager Center, which were very successful but closed due to COVID. And now as they're reimagining a reboot of that program, Finkelstein Library reached out to them and said, hey, we would love if you could open an Independence Cafe in the library. We will provide the space, donate the space, and the build out if you equip it and run it, which of course is a great opportunity and speaks to Bridges' reputation that Finkelstein Library wants to get involved with them in this way. So our partnership would be outfitting the cafe. So all of the equipment, the supplies to get them up and running. And the nice thing about this partnership is much like BOCES, once we get it up and running, and because of the footprint of Finkelstein, which has more daily traffic, it will continue. It will be self-sustaining and people will go through this training long after our partnership. So the partnership agreement that you have in front of you on your iPads would allow us to enter into an $80,000 partnership with Bridges to do the full equipping of the cafe. And there will be a secondary partnership agreement between the IDA and Bridges that outlines the reporting and the outcomes that we will follow through that first year. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, well, just to clarify, like this resolution you're doing is kind of authorizing us to go forward, you're authorizing us to go ahead and go forward with doing a partnership agreement. So those details, as Heidi said, to follow through the compliance requirements, the
The tracking
mechanisms.
of jobs.
Yeah, and we'll parcel that money out. We're not going to just hand a check for $80,000.
Yeah, there will be oversight.
Yeah, and
Is that the maximum you guys are giving, or is there more to go?
no, that will cover them. There is a,
For this project,
yes.
For this.
is there gonna be more projects? That is to be determined.
Yeah, they have some very interesting things in the pipeline that they may feel they want to present to the board.
If I remember correctly, Raj, they came to us with a proposal that had some stuff that was outside of our scope of business, so to speak. So I think there's gonna be a dialogue between the staff and them as to what we can and can't do. Right now, we know we can do this.
This lets us
Is
start.
that a good statement?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, this enables us in a very straight and very clean way to go into business with them, probably leading to more involvement on a larger scale. But rather than wrestling for a year, trying to pull all these disparate pieces together, this lets us start working together.
And this is a proven model, or they have other collaborations like the library. So it makes it a very safe investment.
We need a motion.
Just need a motion for somebody to, in a second.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Okay, I'll read the roll. Irene Coughlin.
Yes.
Peg Zugaby.
Yes.
Raj Amar.
Yes.
Tim Riley. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we're excited.
Authorizing resolution, this is pretty standard. GK Condors, as you recall, they came in a month or so ago. This is a big warehouse project up in Condors. Pretty significant project up there, very impactful. This is the authorizing resolution. Heidi had a public hearing. There's no public comment. The town fully supports this. This is exactly what they want to see up there. So with that said, this is your standard authorizing resolution. Anybody has any questions?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Any second? Okay. Coughlin. Okay, Irene Coughlin,
Yes.
Peg Zugaby,
Yes.
Raj Amar,
Yes.
Tim Riley. Okay. Okay, next one, terminating resolution, for Regeneron. As we're all aware, Regeneron is not going forward with the Avon site. I shouldn't call it the Avon site, but that facility over in Suffern. They've chosen to go a different route. They've acknowledged it. They understand that they are, that we're going to terminate this. But we do need an action by the board authorizing council to go ahead and go forward with the terminating and any recapture process.
There will be recapture, correct?
There will be a recapture. They didn't use any sales tax. We issued them sales tax. They didn't use any of it. There is a relatively small amount in the scheme of things of, I believe, some property taxes that have to be recaptured. And to my understanding, it's not a contentious circumstance. Everyone, this is a procedural thing. On a side note, we kind of talked, maybe I'll just say, I had a very nice conversation with the mayor yesterday, and we are going to be working right after the holidays. Our plan is to get together and see who we can bring together to see what can we do about getting some other use for that project.
Yes, that there.
Yeah, that guy. So, yeah, he was very anxious to work with us.
Yeah.
So,
I'm your best friend.
and we're live. So,
So can we say that,
And we're
the regeneron terminating resolution we can vote on it as long as we have a recapture or not?
no, I mean, what this does,
I mean,
this,
that's probably the village that has to recapture it, right?
no, we actually do the recapture, on behalf of the taxing entities. That's the mechanism of it, and then we disperse it out to the village, the school, the town, the county, their proportions, I believe. Is that right, Rudy?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And the resolution is to terminate and recapture.
Okay.
And what about our fees? Do we have any fees that we need to collect or?
No, we got all our fees.
Pursuant to the agreement, the recapture provision is 100% of the property tax benefits they received, plus a 1% fee to the agency and attorney's fees. So there would be no cost to the agency.
Heidi's showing me in a nice, very complete, I won't, but it's like $562,979.03 is what we're gonna recapture.
Well, that's what they have benefited from.
Right.
So the
Right.
recapture procedure will take that.
That's what they owe to make them whole as far as their tax.
Right,
taxing
should they
entity.
not have been in a pilot, that's would be
They would
the
have paid an
additional.
additional five, so we'll recapture it, and then proportionally, everybody gets their proportional share back.
And that just goes back on the market.
Yeah. And then we go back on the tax roll, 100% assessed value, we're out of it at that
But
point.
regeneron does own the village.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they are gonna be taxed. I mean, presumably, they will be taxed at whatever their
Yeah.
tax liability is, as if there was no IDA pilot.
I hope they're not stupid enough to take the building down.
No,
No, that building is
Beautiful.
in great shape, yeah. I don't think they're gonna-
it's in everyone's interest in the county, the village, town, school, to put our heads together and see what we can do to, see what we can hopefully get in there. And Regeneron, I hopefully will work with us, but like I said, that's all. This is the first step of the process. So I guess what I need is someone to make a motion on the resolution.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Irene, thank you. Do I have a second? Raj? Okay, and Peg Zugby?
Yes.
Irene Coughlin?
Yes.
Raj Amar?
Yes.
Tim Ryan, yes. Okay. Moving along. All right, there is a labor compliance report that Sarah is going to give us.
Hi, good morning again, everyone. I'm happy to report that for October, we are in the green with an average labor compliance among our projects of 93%. I'm also really happy with the communication I'm getting from the projects. The site visits are going well. And we are, sometimes a project needs to give us information in a different way. So we talk through what's going to work for the project so we get what we need and it doesn't create extra work for them. And it so far has been working very well. So as you can see from the board.
This is how many months in a row we've been all green, I think.
I think all of them.
Yeah, I think
So
since
at
you
least
took
like
over.
August, September, October, November, so four.
Yeah.
4 months in a row, so good third of the year. And then the November report is also all in the green with an average of 93%, so same average. So labor compliance is going well. Enjoying working with the projects, enjoying seeing these things go up, and seeing the progress from month to month.
Yeah, Sarah gets to do cool stuff while we
Yeah.
grind here.
We're here in the
We're grinding away on a
office.
daily basis, so, but, I think in
It
Irene,
is warmer in the office than it is on a project site, just so you know.
but Irene, just for you,
He's
like
in the
you said,
tools.
you recall, we
That's
outsourced
right,
it.
yes.
That's what
I-
Herb said.
Not really, I think I don't want to repeat, we already had that conversation, right? So you're familiar with the history there, and it's been, by any measure, home run.
Yeah.
So that's that. The planning and scope letter, as we said, I guess, who wants to do that?
This is the same as for REAC, just notifying you that we're entering into an agreement to do our independent audit with the same firm that we used last year.
So you've been duly notified on that, okay? Old business. Sarah, why don't you tell us about the Acorn sponsorship update?
So we gave ACOR, $1,000 so that they could run a workshop for artists on AI and copyright and protecting their artwork. They would have been unable to run this workshop without our sponsorship. It was well attended. It was at the New City Library. The artists were incredibly grateful. I spoke briefly to start everything off and talk about, how artists support the integrity of our community and really make it unique. And they were so happy the woman who did the presentation, Atreya, was phenomenal. It was a long presentation. I ended up being at the library for 4 hours. I thought this was going to be a little like 1 hour, I'm in, I'm out, not so much, but it was really valuable. Valuable for the artists, valuable for ACOR, well attended and very well received. So everybody thanked the IDA, which was just a nice little bonus at the end. So it was really a great thing to be a part of. So something that I think we can feel good about.
Thank you.
Good, okay. Sid, want to give us, Sydney, I'm sorry, give us just a report on the 2025 pilots?
So these are the reports for 2025 pilot payments. And for the towns, in total, we have received the 9.8 million in our pilot payments. Orange Town being the largest share at 57% and $5.5 million. Followed by Ramapo, which is at 23%, 2.2 million. Havistra, 11%, 1.1. And Pearl River Campus, the project for IRG, is the highest pilot paying project for us.
Thank you.
There's nothing in Haverstraw.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, there is,
There is.
nothing in Stony.
Right, no, there's no project in Stony Point.
Yeah, Havistra has 4 projects.
We didn't forget a
I
town,
think.
there's just nothing to
Yeah.
react there.
We're
The
thinking of
North
doing a
Rockland.
deal for Steve's house, just so Stony Point makes the list.
And all our projects paid, which is good news. So compliance season is officially open. Thank you
And
to Sid for putting this together.
also for 2025 pilot payments based on school districts, highest was NAG Union Free School District being 47%, followed by Suffering at 20% and Pearl River at 11%.
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney.
Just an aside on the pilots, it's funny, there's always, the challenge with pilots, particularly say with the school districts, is there's always a changing cast of characters, and in town, but I think we're in a very good place with all the various school districts. I'd say almost without exception, the school superintendents are great partners for us. They get it, they understand it, and that's invaluable. So again, pilot program seems to be working. I think we have to do a little more work, and that's on one of our to-dos for next year, is because we're doing so much housing now. It's one thing to do a pilot for like a warehouse. It comes up, it's all new taxes, Housing is a little different animal, and I will say this: North Rockland has kind of led, the school district has led the way, and really kind of opening up a lot of what the challenges are about how to get a deal done. So, hats off to your organization. I know you recuse yourself on us for that, but it is North Rockland has borne the brunt of these housing projects, but manages to get it done. So, okay, so that's that. The October-November financial reports. Again, same thing. If anybody wants to review it, have any questions? Jump out. Give everybody any time they want. I don't want to rush everybody, but if anybody wants to make a motion when you're ready.
I want to rush everybody.
Yeah.
Time's a wasting. Oh, no.
One of the biggest, thing from the school, from one of the board, some of the board members, is with housing, is if it's affordable housing, a couple of board members don't have a problem with a pilot. But if it's not affordable housing and it's market rate, they feel the person shouldn't get a pilot.
Right.
They feel they should just have to, you know,
Pay their forward.
they should take the whole, you know, and that's an argument that I guess the developer should be able to
Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
that question.
Things have
As far as a pilot for school districts at least, when they go before them, that's something that they should consider being able to answer that question.
I mean, the reality is, like I said, I think it prompts a healthy debate. I think where you go down a bad road is when you just start rubber stamping things, and if a developer can't justify
Yeah.
why they need that pilot to the satisfaction, it's good to have somebody ask the tough questions, as we say, just like with the board, you guys, we like, and we encourage you guys to question, versus we've all been on boards where it's just, okay, boom, 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 and, off you go. So, those, I would say the IDA's role, at least in that case with those, not always say it's based on, the individual circumstances. What I try to do, I think what we try to do on this is make sure that the opinions aren't based on misinformation or lack of understanding and drawing assumptions or conclusions on things that just aren't accurate. So all we do is we're not negotiating, we're not advocating for, but making sure they understand, the facts, which I know that we live in a day and age where facts are subjective, but in this case, numbers are numbers. So, but anyway, if we ever needed us to come up and talk to the board about this on a bigger picture, we're always available. So, okay, somebody want to make
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second?
Second,
Okay. All right. Peg Zugaby.
yes.
Irene Coughlin.
Yes.
Raj Amar. That's Tim Ryan. Okay. So now comes our annual go into executive session.
Before we do that, can I ask you a few questions? We talk about labor compliance.
Yeah.
How are we, there was an article again today, and I don't want to sound like a parrot, just repeating what I read in the newspaper or online. One of the big issues up in Orange County, according to today's article, is compliance as far as numbers. They mentioned one project, ironically, we had a mirror project down here in Rockland. It's the health center.
Run?
Yeah.
Okay.
How they, in their application in Orange County, it's in Monroe. They said they're gonna have 450 jobs, they only produced like 120. And there was a mild protest from some of the county legislators and some of the state legislators, we know who they are, saying that's the problem with the IDA, there's promises made and promises not kept. How are we with compliance?
So for our job numbers,
Yeah.
And we gave that report, last year we were really close. I think the year before, COVID years were a little tough and we understood that.
Right.
Now I think all of our projects, and don't forget they have that 3-year ramp up period, they are either where they're supposed to be, and if they're not, we've had that discussion with them of why, what's the plan moving forward. And next year we're also implementing, doing site visits to verify employment numbers. So we do hold their feet to the fire and we want those numbers.
Right. Now, are you talking about construction jobs or permanent jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and again, this is where, without picking on any one IDA, but various IDAs, and I won't even be specific, it's not, this is about our check. Some IDAs have very loose rules as far as compliance, or actually taking the position that they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't comply at all. Others are very rigid, or I've also seen where IDAs, they go down the bad road of somehow encouraging, like somehow get the company to make some outrageous job creation statement. Going to create 1,000 jobs, and they're really only going to create, because it sounds good, but you got to pay for that on the back end. So we always tell, just when we talk to our projects as they're applying, we always tell them, don't lowball us because we're not stupid, but give us realistic. Be realistic, because we also recognize that jobs are just a portion of when we do our cost benefit. Jobs are important, but also the taxes and also all the revenues and all the other things that go into it. So we kind of make sure that our projects stay in the world of reality. in the event that, and this has happened a few times, not recently, in the event that somebody grossly misses their number, we have a mechanism that's built, it's kind of baked right into our agreements. We call them in. What's going on? Why were you late? Now, many times it's COVID or some other factor that's beyond their control. And then the board has the ability to say, that's fine, we got it, we're good with that, or sorry, that doesn't fly, and you can start recapturing, but you have the stuff to beat to it.
There's more to it also. People don't realize you don't have a lot of doctors and nurses and healthcare people that are certified to find a job,
Yeah.
right? Being on the board with Mount St. Mary, the nurses are down by 40% going
Yeah.
to school there, right? So it's when you say I'm going to give you 450 jobs, and if they're looking in that, they include nurses and doctors,
Right.
not necessarily that they're readily available.
Right.
So there could be a reason why,
Yeah.
and I do
Good
agree.
example, though, right?
I do agree with your concept that they want to probably show, oh, give us more, and they probably, but to get people in medical, I mean, right now at Nyack Hospital, people are coming from Pennsylvania, staying 3 days, and then going back home for Pennsylvania as a nurse.
Listen, I have a niece that's just graduated, like she's going to be graduating, be a fully, she's already got a job down at Sloan Kettering.
Yeah.
She interned there, they, right on the spot, offer her a full-time permanent job at a great salary when she graduates a year later. I mean, that's the kind of industry you're living in. But
And I'm not, I'm just,
Yeah, that's a good question.
it's
it is a good.
up there, it's being, there's a lot of politics going on in Orange County, as we all know, with the IDA. There's a lot of issues. And this is one of the things that people who are somewhat anti-IDA can hang their hat on.
Mhm.
Look at the numbers, you're not checking these people, they're not following through on their promises. That
Right, and what the,
But about us, as long as we're doing what you're saying,
Yeah,
We're
we're growing it.
Yeah.
We get verification. We look at the ST45s for that they file with the state
Yeah.
to verify.
the one thing that we're strong at is follow-up compliance, among other things, but we do have our act together on that, if I could say, I might sound too,
You're on my
Okay.
spreadsheet. I'm talking to you.
yeah. So, yeah, any other questions, or you had something else?
no, that was it.
That was
For
it?
now.
Okay.
If something else pops in.
Okay, if you have anything, just throw it out there. All right, so actually what I do need us to do is go into executive session, to discuss personnel matters.
Yeah.
A motion, we need a motion?
I'm a-
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll say.
And-
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a little 5-minute break.
You don't need us, I'll come back afterwards.
Yeah,
We need to open the door. We're back.
Are we on?
We are on.
Make a motion, we come out of executive session?
So,
Came out at 11:15, back in. Okay. Okay, with that
Should
said,
you take a vote on coming out?
do you want to make a motion to come out?
I did.
He made
Oh,
it.
okay. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye. Was there a second?
yeah,
Sorry, I'm a little behind.
That's all right.
Turning into, I'm having trouble,
I'm here.
I'm having trouble like doing my job here. Anyway, all right, so with that said, I'll read the minutes. Okay, came to order at 11:15 a.m. 4 members present. I'll fill in the details when I read the minutes. The board action item started with Heidi Van Diver providing an overview of the proposed resolution for partnering with Bridges. Again, talked about that we will, we're talking about approving $80,000 to underwrite capital investment for Independence Cafe. I'll fill in the details in our minutes as far as what that is. Motion was made by Tim Riley, seconded by Peg Zugby. All were in favor. Board considered an authorizing resolution for GK Congress. This is a warehouse project up in Congress. A significant project. It has the support of the town and the taxing municipalities. We had a public hearing. There was no public comment. Motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Ivan Coughlin. All in favor. Motion passed. Board considered a terminating resolution for terminating the Regeneron project. Regeneron had announced that they're not moving forward with opening a facility over in Suffern. So this resolution just authorizes the council to begin the termination process and recapture of any funds. Motion by Irene Coughlin, seconded by Rajamar. All in favor. Sarah McCasney provided the board with an update on the monthly labor report. In short, all is green, means everybody is in compliance. And again, Sarah's acknowledged that Sarah's doing a great job. Let's see, the board was notified of the planning and scope letter, so I guess that's it. There's no real action. We just notified you. Okay, Sarah McCasney provided a overview and update on an event that we sponsored with the arts community, ACORD, as far as having a guest speaker come in and provide, educate artists on how to run themselves as a business. It was very well received, money well spent. The city provided an overview on the 2025 pilot results as far as income from pilots based on municipalities and the various towns. Again, all going well with that. The board considered a financial report for October, November. Motion was to accept it. Motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Peggy Zugby. All in favor. Motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters. Motion by Peg Zugby, seconded by Tim Riley. All in favor. Executive session ended at 11:15 with a motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Peg Zugby. And that's that. And I guess if we have no other business, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you, everyone.
Not yet, soon.
What?
He says, thank you, I said, not yet, soon.